Okay, good morning, Year 5-6. Welcome to your maths lesson for Tuesday, the 2nd of February. We'll start with some arithmetic questions again. So 8 questions again, 8 minutes, have a go, and we'll go through the answers. So pause the video now. Okay, let's have a little look. So 2 times 4 times 6, so multiply 2 of the digits together, then multiply it by the third digit, and hopefully you got 48. 3,390 divided by 100, the digits move 2 places to the right, we end up with 33.9. 3,308 take away 100, I got 3,208. 5,395 take away something is 330, so I need to subtract those two numbers to be able to find the missing number, which would be 5,065. 20,200 divided by 1,000, all the digits move 3 places to the right, so we end up with 20.2. 100.01 times 1,000, all the digits move 3 places to the left, so you end up with 100,010. 10,500 take away 1 times 2 times 3, do those multiplications first, then subtract it, you end up with 10,494. 7 add 3 squared, 3 squared is 9, add on to the 7, and you have 16. And then a recap question for you to do from what we did yesterday. So pause the video and have a go at this one. Okay, so hopefully you put it in column, which looks a little bit like this. So making sure that you have the decimal point lined up, and then that allowing for you to have all the other columns lined up correctly. So the ones column, the tenths, the hundredths, the thousandths. Again, I added this 0 in here to help me as a placeholder. It doesn't change the number. So then I can go ahead and complete the addition. So 1 add 0 is 1. 9 add 3 is going to be 12. 7 add 5 would be 13. Plus the 1 is going to be 13. And then 1 add 1 is 2. So 2.321. What we're doing today is subtracting decimals with the same number of decimal places. So what we mean by the number of decimal places is the number of digits after the decimal point. So if we look at these two numbers, both of these have 2 digits after the decimal point. So they are numbers to 2 decimal places. So if we're subtracting decimals, we again need to make sure that they are lined up correctly. The decimal point starts by lining up the decimal point, and then that will help you line up the rest of the digits in the correct columns. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this subtraction as I would any subtraction using the column method. So if I start with 3 hundredths, take away 4 hundredths, I can't do that. I'm going to need to exchange from the tenths. So I'm going to exchange one of those tenths for 10 hundredths. So if I exchange it for 10 hundredths plus the 3 hundredths means I've got 13 hundredths over here now. So 13 hundredths, take away 4 hundredths, and I've got 9 hundredths. 2 tenths, take away 1 tenth, and I've got 1 tenth. Decimal point, 4 take away 2 is 2. And I can show that on my place value chart over here. I've got 3 hundredths, but I want to take away 4. I can't take away 4. So I exchange one of those tenths for 10 hundredths over here. So I've exchanged 1 tenth because that's worth 10 of these. So I can exchange it for 10 of these, which means I can now take away the 4, which leaves me with 9 left. Right, let's have a look at a couple of these questions. So what happens when you need to subtract a greater digit from a smaller digit, e.g. 3 hundredths subtract 4 hundredths? What do you need to do? You need to exchange. Do we only ever make one exchange in a subtraction? No. Sometimes we might need to make 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes none. So we don't always need to make one exchange. It could be none or it could be more. Can you predict what the answer might be? You can have a guess at what roughly your answer should be. These numbers are very close to 4 and 2, and I know that 4 take away 2 is 2, so my answer needs to be around 2. If I had an answer which was larger than either of these two numbers, I'm possibly thinking I've made a mistake. I've probably added the numbers instead of subtracted them. So that would give you a good indication. And you can always check using the inverse. Let's have a think about how we would complete these subtraction questions. So if I had 6.4 take away 3.8, I needed to exchange from the ones to give me another tenth over here. So then I've got 14 tenths take away 8 tenths, because I couldn't do 4 take away 8 tenths. That leaves me with 6 tenths. And then 5 take away 3 is 2. This one over here, so I needed to do 5.05 take away 2.15. So I started with the thousandths, 5 thousandths, take away 5 thousandths, I've got 0 thousandths. I don't need to put this 0 here, but I'm going to put it in just to avoid any confusion. Then I had 0 tenths take away 1 tenth. Well, I couldn't do that, so I needed to exchange one of my ones for 10 tenths, which gave me 10 tenths here. Take away 1 tenth leaves me 9 tenths. 4 take away 2 is 2. Okay, whenever we're thinking about subtracting and adding decimals, it's likely that we're going to be thinking about using it in the context of money, because money works with decimal points. So the chances are we're going to be solving questions and problems relating to money when we're adding and subtracting decimals. So if we look at this question, Jack has £12.54 in his wallet. He buys a football which costs £5.82. How much money does he have left? So he started with £12.54. But he's spent some of his money on a football. So we need to take that away to find out how much he has left. So if I look at my subtraction calculation, I need to make sure that the columns are all lined up correctly, starting with the decimal point, and then go ahead and complete my subtraction. So 4 hundredths take away 2 hundredths is 2 hundredths. 5 tenths take away 8 tenths, I can't do, so I'm exchanging 1 for 10 tenths, then 15 tenths take away 8 tenths is going to leave me with 7 tenths. Add the decimal point. 1 take away 5, I can't do that. 11 take away 5 is 6. So I end up with £6.72. Time for you to have a go at some questions. So there's some column calculations over here for you to have a go at. Then there's a money question. Whitney has £8.52. She buys this comic. How much money does she have left? And then some items for sale in a shop. How much more does the scarf cost than the bag of marbles? And then Esther has £15.31. She buys a pair of headphones and a bag of marbles. Here are the marbles. How much money does she have left? Tom has £7.01. He buys one item and has £5.92 left. What item did he buy? So pause the video and have a go at these questions. Okay, let's have a little look at the answers. So £5.64 take away 5.64 take away 3.21, and we end up with 2.52. 8.09 take away 3.81, we've got 4.28. 5.64 take away 3.15 gives us 2.49. 12.02 take away 11.38, we've got 0.64. So Whitney has £8.52. She buys the comic, which is £3.25. How much does she have left? So you're going to have subtracted those two numbers, which hopefully gave you £5.27. So we've got some items in a shop. How much more does a scarf cost than a bag of marbles? So you needed to have subtracted those two numbers to find out that one, which hopefully got £2.64. Esther has £15.31. She buys a pair of headphones and a bag of marbles, how much money does she have left? So you could have subtracted the headphones, then subtracted the marbles from that, or you might have added these two together using what you learnt yesterday, and then subtracted the combined total, the combined cost of these two items from the £15.31. Hopefully you got £3.94. And then Tom has £7.1. He buys one item and has £5.92 left. So hopefully when you subtracted it, you realise the cost of the item would have been a keyring. So hopefully you should have had £1.09. So that would have told you that you bought the keyring. Have a look at these gold questions then. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's have a little look at the answers. So Dexter and Annie have some money. Dex has £3.45 more than Annie, but they have £12.45 altogether. How much money does Annie have? Annie has £4.50. In this number pyramid, each number is calculated by adding the two numbers underneath it. So hopefully using adding and subtracting to be able to calculate the missing numbers in the pyramid. And then think about our platinum questions, pause the video and have a go. And then here are the answers to the platinum questions. So Tommy has 3 pieces of string. The first piece is 0.78, second piece is 0.24, shorter than the first. The third is 0.07, shorter than the second. What is the total length of all 3 pieces? So you would have needed to find the length of the second and the third piece, and then added them together to find the total length. Hopefully you got 1 meter and 79 centimeters, 1.79. A, B, and C are points on a number line. How much greater is the difference between A and C than the difference between B and C? So you would have needed to find the difference between A and C and B and C, and then find out how much greater that difference is. Remember that difference means subtracting. So really important that when we're finding the difference between two numbers, we are subtracting. And hopefully you got 40.96. Okay, that's it for today. Well done. Hope that went well, and I'll see you tomorrow.